What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and this is part 32 of our Fossil Fighter playthrough. Last time, we did everything involved in getting Dr. Diggins' time machine set up, and we even went back to the past and defeated Gugnash again, getting its brains as a reward. This time, we're gonna head over to the Parchment Desert and see what that dig site has for us. Alright, now at the Parchment Desert, you can run around all here. There's no one really here. You will notice that if you hit your sonar a few times, there are no fossils here. At least, you can't find any fossils here, more specifically. So the desert sun is too hot and it is affecting our sonar, meaning that we can't find any fossil rocks right now. But we can find this random guy that we're going to talk to. Hey buddy, you one of them fossil fighters? If so, sorry about the digging conditions. I'll bet you ain't found a single fossil rock, have ya? You won't neither. No one finds fossils here. Why? Well, it's hot out here. So hot that those sonar whatsits of yours won't work. If there was some moisture out here, like an oasis or something, that'd cool things down, I bet. Oh, I should introduce myself. I'm Lawrence. Mr. Richmond's hired me to spruce this place up a bit. I'm a hankering to get my hands on some of them oasis seeds, but they're out of my price range. So, this guy doesn't show up here as soon as the post-game show starts. If you were to come here earlier, this guy would not be here, and it would literally just be an open place that has nothing in it. This guy only shows up once you have finished the time machine related quest. So, you have to do Dr. Diggins' quest, and then that guy shows up and gives you the Parchment Desert quest. And our goal today is to basically just get the Parchment Desert up and running so you can find fossil rocks there. So the first place we need to go is the Fossil Guild. Welcome to my shop, the one and only. And if you talk to this guy before talking to the other guy, he would only have the buy fossil rocks, sell items, and buy masks. But after you talk to to Lawrence, he has today's special. If you click on it, today's special is Oasis. One little oasis seed will grow into a huge oasis. Don't ask me how. That'll run you about 20,000 G. A bargain, what do you say? So as you can see, I have a little bit of money. I have been grinding basically every single dig site to get every single Vivosaur that we can possibly get as of right now. And anytime I found a treasure fossil, I have taken it and cleaned it and sold them. So I have, some would say too much money. I say just enough money. Because, not to spoil things, but we need 4 of these oasis seeds. So let's go ahead and buy this one. Thanks for your business. Is there something else I can help you with? So he sells you 1, and now we have to run back to the Parchment Desert to see if Lawrence can do anything with these. So I'll meet you back over at Lawrence. Alright, back here at Lawrence, we're just gonna talk to him. Well, shoot! That's an oasis seed you got there, boy. And you're giving it to me? I don't know what to say. Except thanks. I'm gonna turn this hot sand trap into a green paradise? A green paradise that'll have the fighters flocking to it. Come back after a while and it should be ready for digging. I believe what he means by a while is just we have to leave And then I think if we go right back, it should be grown. So let's go ahead and go see if that is correct. Parchment Desert. Do we have an oasis? No, we do not. Dude, these things take some time. Come back after a little while. A little while longer. Alright. Well, I think this is another thing that is just going to take a day or so, so I'll see you back when the oasis is grown. Alright. So the oasis have finally grown. It apparently grew a lake, because that makes sense. But with the first oasis grown, you can see that we are now able to find fossils. So let's go ahead and talk to Lawrence and see what he has to say. Howdy, partner. Sorry to keep you waiting, but here it is, our first oasis. Your sonar, what it should work fine now, but you so you can get digging. Of course, your sonar will work better if you have even cooler around here. We got room for 3 more oases in this sandbox. Together, we'll make the whole area a big digger's dream. Alright, so I think the plan now is for... Well, first off, I guess I should say we can find fossils, but it's very few fossils, and if you move too far away, you lose fossils entirely. So it's only around where the oasis is, and because of that, the more oases you have, the more fossil rocks you can find, and the rarer fossil rocks you can find. So I think what we will do is, while I'm getting the other 3 oases, we're just gonna go over the different Vivosaurs we can find here. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up is Orno. Orno has one really big thing going for it and nothing else. And that is its support effect that effectively doubles your attack zone Vivosaur's accuracy. This just allows your low accuracy Vivosaurs to hit more often. On the other hand, Orno has both bad stats and bad skills, making it really difficult to use for almost any of these post-game battles that are left when you get access to it. Basically, get it if you're going for completion, but I wouldn't really recommend trying to use it. And in the same vein as Orno is Smilo. By that I mean that the main thing about Smilo is its really high support effect. The difference is that Smilo actually increases stats that are helpful, being the defense and evasion of your attack zone. Smilo also has the FP plus passive skill, which helps you gain more FP each turn, which can be incredibly helpful in these hard post-game battles. Smilo is definitely easier to recommend, but purely as a support Vivosaur. After Smilo is Arsith. Arsith is actually really good at controlling the battlefield. It comes equipped with 2 golden skills, being a sleep and an inflame skill. It also has the option of just knocking your opponent's attack zone Vivosaur into their escape zone for only 80 FP. On top of all that, Arsith also has decent support effects to help boost your team even more. The only real downside to Arsith is that it has some pretty lackluster stats, but if you are using it correctly, these stats shouldn't be the biggest downside. Next up is Opteryx. Opteryx is our final transformation class Vivosaur, and it has the ability to transform into 10 different Vivosaurs, technically making it the most versatile Vivosaur of all of them. The only downside is that you don't get to choose which Vivosaur you transform into, making it a pretty big gamble. We also have access to every single Vivosaur in this group except for one, and that one is fairly weak due to what that Vivosaur is for. So if you want to use Opteryx for the chance of using one or more of those Vivosaurs, then you should really just go get those real Vivosaurs from the places that they're at. Besides its transforming gimmick, Opteryx has alright support effects and 2 skills to steal FP from your opponent, which can be helpful. But Opteryx also comes equipped with a whole 5 defense, making it about as defensive as a wet piece of paper. So anything that hit Opteryx will defeat it, and because of that and the unreliable nature of its transforming ability, Opteryx just becomes pretty unusable. Chiropteryx is Aloe, and we finally find a Vivosaur here that could do some type of damage. Aloe is an all-around class Vivosaur that specializes in stopping your opponents from switching zones using its Excite skills. Aloe also has 88 attack, meaning that when it traps your opponents in the attack zone, it can do some real damage to them. Aloe also gets the Law of the Jungle skill, which allows it to steal life points from your other Vivosaurs to heal itself, making it live longer and deal even more damage. All of this is to say that Aloe is a big dino and likes to smack around Vivosaurs and is really good at it. Next up is the walking city of Perso. So, just being straight up, Perso is bad. It has pretty basic skills, but all of them are really expensive and are pretty weak, making all of them really bad. Perso also has strictly negative support effects. The biggest thing that Perso has going for it is its life point stat. A massive 720 life points is really nice, but if you aren't doing anything with the extended time you get from having so much life, then there really isn't much of a point. Mihu! If you like doing a ton of damage, boy do I have the Vivosaur for you. Mihu has a 60% increase to attack for its support effects. This by itself can make a Vivosaur with even a middling attack stat of 50 become a great attack stat of 80, which also means that any Vivosaur with the at least 62 attack gets maxed out attack with this 60% boost. On top of this, Mihu also gets access to a counter skill, which helps to keep your Vivosaurs healthy by deflecting damage, as well as a skill that allows it to knock the opponent's attack zone Vivosaur into the escape zone. Using these basically makes it really good at controlling the battlefield and incredible at supporting any Vivosaur that you would put in the attack zone. After Mihu is Gorgo. Gorgo is an attack class Vivosaur that comes equipped with a scare skill to help block skills from your opponent's Vivosaurs. Unfortunately, Gorgo doesn't really have anything else going for it. At this point, I might sound like a broken record, but Gorgo has negative support effects for your side and skills that are just slightly too expensive to make the best use out of Gorgo. I would just recommend not taking very much time to try to use it, especially because there's a better attack class Vivosaur in this very desert. And that is the monstrous T-Rex! Known as the most powerful attack class Vivosaur, the T-Rex boasts an incredible max out attack stat and amazing skills to use it with. It has a skill that hits all of your opponent's Vivosaurs at once, as well as 2 skills that inflict scare on their Vivosaurs. On top of that, the T-Rex also gets the skill Law of the Jungle, which just lets it steal life points from its allies to heal itself. And with 600 life points and 50 defense, this can just make the T-Rex an even more irritating Vivosaur to deal with. All that being said, this is the only Vivosaur that I can truly recommend to replace one of your team members. That's how strong it is. Alright, now that we've gone over all of the bios for the Parchment Desert, I just want to show that there are all 4 oases now. There's this one in the lower left-hand corner, over here, somewhere in the lower right-hand corner, right there. Then if we go up here, there's one in the upper left-hand corner, and then over here, even higher I believe, there's the last one in the upper right-hand corner. And talking to Lawrence one more time. Well done, boy. We've done it. My dreams of one day seeing this haggard old desert turn into a green paradise have finally come true. It's all thanks to you, boy. Thank you again. The desert is ripe for digging, so dig away to your heart's content. Yeehaw! And like I said, this entire quest takes probably roughly about 2 hours and about 80,000 G to complete. But that will do it for the Parchment Desert. So let's go ahead and head back to the mainland. And we have one more dig site that we need to visit that we got access to after the main story. That being Coldfeet Glacier. Alright, so Coldfeet Glacier technically has another side quest, but it's a little bit more complicated than what Parchment Desert had. So basically, somewhere around here is someone we need to talk to. So I'll be back once I find him. All right, here we go. I finally found it. So that strange creature is named Unga Bunga, or Unga Unga. I believe it's Unga Unga. And it only appears in the Coldfeet Glaciers after you get 4 oases in the Parchment Desert. And I have no idea why the two are connected. I just know that you have to have the 4 oases for it to appear here at all. And also, it appears as a regular dig spot in the Coldfeet Glaciers. And I don't remember, does it run away or does it disappear? If it disappears, I know what I need to do next, but if it just runs away and I have to talk to it again, it looks like it just ran away. So I am going to leave the Coldfeet Glaciers because the next thing we need to do is go talk to Mr. Richmond about this strange creature that we have found and see if he has any recommendations on what we should be doing about it. Mr. Richmond, I found something weird.
Hello, Phoenix. My boy, are you getting close to reviving all 100 Vivosaurs? It's no easy task, is it? That's probably why no one's done it yet. By the way, Phoenix, have you ever heard of a creature called Unga Unga? Supposedly, Unga Unga lives on Coldfeet Glaciers, but no one has ever actually seen it. What? Did you say you've seen it? There's just no end to your talent, is there? But it ran away, huh? You know, the legends of Unga Unga mention that it loves snowberries. Anyway, if you see Unga Unga again, I'd love to hear all about it. Take care, Phoenix.
Snowberries, he says. I wonder where we would be able to get a special item like snowberries. Perhaps from the store? Are you selling anything? What is today's special, good sir? Today's special is snowberries, rare and delicious, suitable for the most discriminating palates. That'll run you 10G, a bargain, what do you say? Let's get the snowberries. Thanks for your business. And just because I want to see what you have. Is there any heads that I don't have here? No, there are not. So I don't need anything else from you. Thank you, shopkeeper. We'll be back later. Alright, now that we have the snowberries, the only thing we need to do now, or the only direction we really have, is to go see if we can find Unga Unga again. So I'll meet you back when I find it. There we go. Found Unga Unga once again. But this time, we have the berries. And all we have to do is give Unga Unga the berries, and he seems to be happy about it, or it seems to be happy about it. I'm not entirely sure the gender of that thing. Unga Unga left looking very happy. Alright, well, we saw it again and gave it the snowberries, so I guess the only thing left to do is to go tell Mr. Richmond that it likes snowberries and that we've seen it again. So I'm gonna meet you back over with him. Alright, back with Mr. Richmond.
Hello, Phoenix. Did you find Unga Unga? Really? What was Unga Unga like? Short, stout, and furry, you say? I wonder how long it's been living out in Coldfeet Glacier without anyone seeing it. In addition to world saving, you can add discovering a lost creature to your list of accomplishments. Now, when you gave it the snowberries, say it left, but it left happy. So it's not interested in socializing. That's fine, let's just let Unga Unga be. We won't try to capture it. But in commemoration of your discovery, we'll make Unga Unga masks. Naturally, you'll get the first one, Phoenix. Stop by the mask salon later when you get the chance. Thank you for the fascinating story, Phoenix.
And our reward for finding Unga Unga twice and giving him the snowberries is an Unga Unga mask. Now, the only thing we really have left to go over is there's two more important things about Unga Unga that I didn't mention. The first one is that after you have the 4 oases in Parchment, in the Parchment Desert, Unga Unga will always spawn in Coldfeet Glaciers until you complete this quest, at least. And the second thing is Unga Unga's placement in Coldfeet Glacier is random. So you just have to dig up in the spots that you see fossil rocks buried, and it'll allow you to find Unga Unga, but he is random. Now, the last thing we have to go over in Coldfeet Glaciers is all of the Vivosaurs you can find here. There's a whole total of 10 of them, and we need to talk about them, because this is the last group of Vivosaurs that we can actually dig up. So, let's go ahead and go over them. The first Vivosaur found at Coldfeet Glacier is Cryo. Cryo is an all-around class Vivosaur that has a 100% success rate combo all within itself. It gets access to an Excite skill to stop the opponent's Vivosaur from switching zones, as well as a Golden Poison skill that can guarantee great damage when they can't switch around. Other than that combo, Cryo also gets some pretty good support effects and a decent attack stat. With all of these things, I could recommend Cryo since it works pretty well in any zone you could put it in. Next up is Spino. Spino boasts a great 80 attack stat with several poison skills that can be used to deal even more damage. This sounds great, but the downside is that the poison skills only have, at max, a 50% chance of poisoning your opponent, which means it's not really a reliable source of damage. And without that source of damage, Spino becomes a pretty middling attack class Vivosaur with awful support effects. I wouldn't recommend Spino, but if you want to use it, focus on boosting its attack and defense and trying to get that poison to go off as much as possible. After Spino is Apatto. Apatto has 2 things that make it pretty good and 2 things that make it pretty bad. Apatto has a skill that allows it to swap around your opponent's Vivosaurs randomly, which can be helpful to interrupt their plans and to get rid of a Vivosaur that you don't want to deal with at the beginning. Apatto can also sacrifice its own life points to heal its allies. On the other hand, Apatto has pretty bad support effects, which makes it difficult to want to put in the support zone, but it also has middling to bad stats, which makes you not want to put it into the attack zone. So there really is nowhere where Apatto feels like it would really work well. So that's the good and the bad. Now you can decide if it's ugly. Next up is Ankylo. Ankylo is a defensive class Vivosaur that is even more capable at maxing out other Vivosaur's defense than the legendary Galith is. To show this, any Vivosaur with at least 20 defense gets to max defense with Ankylo's support effect and harden skill. Ankylo can also do other things like inflict, confuse, and poison at relatively high success rates. That being said, if you are having trouble with your Vivosaurs being defeated too quickly, Ankylo can help fix that problem. Just be prepared to attack slightly more, since Ankylo also lowers your attack zone Vivosaur's attack. Pocky! This mermaid dog has several things going for it. Pocky can both lower your opponent's attack while raising your Vivosaur's defense, which can make your Vivosaurs very difficult to defeat from pure damage. Pocky also gets the Parting Blow ability to help boost its middling stats when it's at low life. the main downside to Pocky is that it only has damage dealing attack skills, but it does have the Link passive ability to help deal a little more damage without costing any extra FP. I would say that Pocky is a pretty good Vivosaur, but at this point it might be a little late to get the best use out of it. After Pocky is Tarbo. Tarbo is the only air-type Vivosaur found in either of the post-game dig sites, and it's actually pretty good for this late in the game. I like to compare Tarbo to the very first Vivosaur we ever got, Spinax, since they are very similar. Tarbo has slightly higher attack, both in its stat and its skills, while Spinax has better support effects being positive while Tarbo has negative one. The biggest difference is between their last skills though. Spinax's last skill is Harden, which raises the Vivosaur's defense, while Tarbo's last skill is Law of the Jungle, which steals your other Vivosaur's life points to heal itself. So basically, if you like Spinax, Tarbo is pretty equivalent and can be used in many of the same situations. Next up is Brontoth. Brontoth is a support class Vivosaur and works really well as one. It gets access to a Golden Poison skill as well as an Inflame skill. Brontoth can also knock your opponent's Vivosaurs into their escape zone if you decide you don't want to deal with them first. Its support effects raise the defense and accuracy of your attack zone, which when mixed with its Inflame skill, raises 3 of the 4 main stats of your attack zone for almost no downside. All of this makes Brontoth just a really good support class and pretty recommended if you still need a support class. After Brontoth is the Vivosaur that picked the short straw at the naming convention, Succo. Succo has the exact same combo as Cryo, but is just worse at doing it. It has both an Excite skill and a Poison skill, but the Poison skill only has a 50% chance of actually inflicting the Vivosaur that it hits. This, combined with only 75 attack and bad support effects, makes Succo, frankly, kind of suck. Guerra, a long-range Vivosaur that specializes in being the most irritating Vivosaur you have ever seen. Guerra gets access to 3 regular skills that each have a different effect meant to irritate the opponent. Guerra's first skill simply inflicts the Golden Sleep status, meaning that 2 more attacks can hit that Vivosaur without waking it up. Guerra's second skill has a 100% chance of swapping the zones of the opponent's Vivosaurs, and finally, its third skill just steals 180 FP from their opponent. On top of all that, Guerra also has pretty decent support effects to help your other Vivosaurs even more, making it a pretty good Vivosaur, if not a really annoying Vivosaur. And the final Vivosaur in these post-game dig sites is Mammoth. Mammoth works really well in the support zone. Between its good support effects and the fact that it can heal your other Vivosaurs by sacrificing its own life points, Mammoth helps your other Vivosaurs become even more capable on the battlefield. Talking about Mammoth's sacrifice skill, Mammoth is also one of only 3 Vivosaurs that gets access to the Auto LP Recovery passive skill, which means that Mammoth heals slowly over time and can then sacrifice again, healing your other Vivosaurs even more. Mammoth's stats are not great, but I can only see positives with Mammoth, and if you are using Mammoth correctly, these stats should not be the biggest problem ever.
Oh, well, okay then. It seems that even after you do the quest, that Unga Unga will still appear in Coldfeet Glaciers. And it just runs away from you, I guess. But yeah, that's strange. But with that, I think since we've gone over all the bios, we've done the Parchment Desert and Coldfeet Glacier, we did both of the quests that are associated with the 2 places, I think that is a good stopping point for this episode. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And next time, we are going to be doing a couple of miscellaneous things around the island that we have yet to do. But until then, happy adventuring!